Leonid Alexandrovich Govorov, the 22nd of February 1897 to 19 March 1955, was a Soviet military commander, renowned for his role as an artillery specialist and his leadership during World War II, particularly in the defense and liberation of Leningrad. Below is a detailed account of his life, career, and history based on available information. Early life and birth. Leonid Alexandrovich Govorov was born on February 22, 1897, Old Style, February 10th, in the village of Butyrki, Vyatka Governorate, now Kirov, Oblast, Russian Empire. Family. He was born into a peasant family of Russian ethnicity. Little is documented about his immediate family, but his humble origins shaped his early life. He later married Lydia Ivanovna, and they had a son, Vladimir Leonidovich Govorov, 1924 to 2006, who became a Soviet general and hero of the Soviet Union. Education. Leonid Govorov attended a technical high school in Yelabuga, where he developed a foundation in technical subjects. In 1916, he enrolled in the shipbuilding department of the Petrograd Polytechnical Institute. But his studies were interrupted by his conscription into the Russian Imperial Army in December 1916. He then graduated from the Konstantinovsky Artillery School in 1917, earning the rank of podporuchik second lieutenant and beginning his military career as an artillery officer. Later, during the interwar period, Govorov pursued extensive military education, graduating from the Artillery Course 1926, the Higher Academy Course 1930, and the Frunze Military Academy 1933. In 1936, he attended the newly established Military Academy of the Red Army General Staff. Completing his studies in 1938, he also mastered German and became a certified military translator during this period. Civil War 1917-1921 Overview. The Russian Civil War, November 1917, October 1922, with some fighting extending into 1923, was a multi-factional conflict in the former Russian Empire following the Bolshevik Revolution of October 1917. It pitted the Bolshevik Red Army against the loosely allied anti-Bolshevik White Armies, alongside various regional, nationalist, and separatist factions. The war was a struggle for control of Russia's political future, fueled by ideological divides, foreign intervention, and social upheaval. Background. The war's roots lie in the collapse of the Russian imperial government after the February Revolution of 1917, which led to the abdication of Tsar Nicholas II. The provisional government struggled to maintain order amid World War I, economic collapse, and rising discontent. The Bolsheviks, led by Vladimir Lenin, seized power in the October Revolution, establishing a socialist government. Their policies, including land redistribution and withdrawal from World War I via the Treaty of Brest-Litovsk, March 1918, alienated many groups, sparking widespread opposition. Major belligerents. Red Army, organized by the Bolsheviks under Leon Trotsky, it grew from a volunteer force into a disciplined army through conscription and political commissars. It fought for Soviet control and socialist ideals. White Armies, a coalition of monarchists, liberals, and anti-Bolshevik socialists, led by figures like Admiral Alexander Kolchak, General Anton Denikin, and General Nikolai Yudnik. They sought to overthrow the Bolsheviks, but lacked unified goals. Green Armies, peasant-based groups, often fighting both Reds and Whites, focused on local autonomy and land rights. Nationalist and separatist movements, groups in Ukraine, Poland, the Baltic states, and other regions sought independence. Foreign interventionists, Allied powers, Britain, France, USA, Japan, etc., intervened to support the Whites, protect their interests, and counter Bolshevik influence, though their commitment varied. Key events and phases. Initial phase, 1917-1918. After the Bolshevik takeover, opposition emerged in southern Russia, Siberia, and other regions. The Whites formed armies, and foreign troops landed in places like Murmansk and Vladivostok. The Bolsheviks consolidated power in central Russia, creating the Red Army. Escalation. 1919, the Whites launched major offensives. Kolchak advanced from Siberia, Denikin from the south, and Yudnik threatened Petrograd. The Reds, however, rallied with Trotsky's leadership and mass mobilization turning the tide. By late 1919, the Whites were retreating. Turning point 1920, the Reds defeated Kolchak, executed in February 1920, and pushed back Denikin. The Polish-Soviet War, 1919-1921, saw Poland briefly capture Kiev, but the Red Army counterattacked, only to be repelled at the Battle of Warsaw, August 1920. The Greens and other factions complicated the conflict. Final phase, 1921 to 1922. The Reds crushed remaining White strongholds, notably in Crimea, November 1920, Siege of Leningrad. By 1921, the Bolsheviks consolidated control. Though resistance persisted in Siberia and Central Asia, for example, Bozmachi Rebellion into 1922 to 1923, Leonid Govorov, then a young artillery officer, was conscripted into the White Army under Kolchak in October 1918, serving in an artillery battery with the 8th Kama Rifle Division during the White Army's spring offensive. Disillusioned, he deserted in November 1919 and joined the Red Army in January 1920, serving as an artillery battalion commander in the 51st Rifle Division. He fought in the decisive Siege of Perekop, November 1920, helping secure Bolshevik control over Crimea, and was wounded twice. Earning the Order of the Red Banner in 1921, outcome and impact Bolshevik victory. By 1922, the Red Army had defeated the Whites and most other factions, establishing the Soviet Union, formed December 1922. Casualties estimates vary, but the war caused 7 to 12 million deaths, including combatants, civilians, and victims of famine and disease. For example, 1921 to 1922, Volga famine. Legacy: the war solidified Bolshevik rule, shaping the Soviet states' authoritarian structure. It also led to the loss of territories, for example, Poland, Baltic states, and set the stage for decades of Soviet governance. Foreign impact: Allied interventions failed to topple the Bolsheviks, but strained relations, fostering Soviet distrust of the West. Leonid Govorov, military education and interwar years 1921 to 1939. Military education after the Russian Civil War. Leonid Govorov focused on advancing his military expertise through formal education, which was crucial for his rise in the Red Army. 1926, graduated from the artillery course, enhancing his technical knowledge of artillery operations. 1930, completed the Higher Academy course, a program for senior officers to develop strategic and tactical skills. 1933, graduated from the Frunze Military Academy, a prestigious institution for training Red Army commanders, where he honed his operational and leadership abilities. 1936 to 1938, attended the newly established Military Academy of the Red Army General Staff, one of the first officers selected for this elite program. He graduated in 1938, specializing in advanced military strategy and staff work. Interwar career: during the interwar period, Govorov held several key positions that solidified his reputation as an artillery expert and military thinker. 1936, appointed head of artillery for the Kiev Military District, where he oversaw artillery training and operations. Gaining practical experience in managing large formations. 1938, served as a lecturer in tactics at the Dzerzhinsky Artillery Academy in Moscow. During this time, he published his first research paper on assaulting fortified positions, reflecting his growing expertise in siege warfare and artillery tactics. Great Purge, 1937 to 1938. The Stalinist purges decimated the Red Army's officer corps, but Govorov narrowly escaped arrest. His survival is attributed to interventions by influential figures like Mikhail Kalinin, chairman of the Presidium of the Supreme Soviet, and Kliment Voroshilov, People's Commissar for Defense. This allowed him to continue his career unscathed. 1939-1940. Soviet-Finnish War. Appointed Chief of Artillery for the 7th Army during the Winter War against Finland. Govorov played a key role in planning and executing artillery operations to breach the heavily fortified Mannerheim Line. His success in coordinating artillery barrages and supporting infantry assaults earned him the Order of the Red Star in 1940. Leonid Govorov, in World War II, 1941 to 1945, initial role 1941, when Nazi Germany invaded the Soviet Union in June. 1941, Operation Barbarossa. Leonid Govorov was appointed Director of Artillery for the Western Front, overseeing artillery operations in eastern Poland and Belarus. His expertise in coordinating large-scale artillery support was critical in the chaotic early months of the war, as Soviet forces faced severe losses. Battle of Moscow, 1941–1942, in November 1941. Govorov took command of the Fifth Army during the Battle of Moscow, a pivotal moment in the Soviet defense against Germany's Army Group Center. He organized effective artillery barrages and defensive operations, contributing to the Soviet counteroffensive that pushed German forces back from the capital by early 1942. His leadership under pressure earned him recognition as a capable field commander. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more military and geopolitical updates.